The most dangerous thing is not failing, it's doing nothing and calling it waiting. You wait for the motivation, the sign, the spark, the Monday, the perfect conditions. But deep down, you know that spark isn't coming. That version of you who suddenly wakes up doesn't exist. You tell yourself, I'm just tired. I'll start when I'm ready. This isn't the right time. But that's not truth. That's the voice, the one that feeds you comfort while stealing your future. You keep saying tomorrow, but tomorrow looks exactly like today. Same thoughts, same fear, same scrolling, same excuses, with a different date. So let's be honest. This isn't a lack of time. This isn't about burnout. This is a choice. To stay soft, to stay hidden, to stay small. But nothing grows in comfort. Nothing changes when you're still doubting, still waiting, still asking for a better mood before taking the first step. The Stoics knew this. They didn't rely on emotion. They acted, especially when it felt hard. They knew discipline is the cure for delay. Action kills doubt. Movement builds momentum. And clarity comes after the step, not before. So stop waiting to feel ready. You're not supposed to be ready. You're not supposed to be ready. You're supposed to begin, in silence, in discomfort, in confusion, and keep going until the voice gets quiet and the proof gets loud. The hardest battle isn't out there. It's in here. In the voice, the one that whispers, not today. Why bother? You'll fail anyway. It sounds like reason, but it's fear, dressed in logic. You want to wake up early. The voice says rest a bit more. You want to train. It says you deserve a break. You want to start. It says start better. And you listen, because it sounds soft, it sounds kind. But what it really says is stay the same. The Stoics knew that voice. They called it impulse, a liar, a trickster. The part of you that wants comfort more than character. They didn't negotiate with it, they acted. Before the voice had time to grow teeth. Because the more you listen, the louder it gets. It becomes the narrator, the excuse factory, the endless loop of almost. So here's the truth. You can't kill the voice, but you can quiet it with action, with repetition, with proof. You don't have to feel brave, you just have to move before the fear finishes its sentence. Don't argue with it, don't analyze it, just act. Small, fast, now. Your greatest enemy knows you best. It speaks in your tone, uses your past, and always shows up right before the moment that could change you. So stop listening and start showing. Let your results be louder than your hesitation. Let your footsteps crush what your thoughts keep reviving. Because discipline is not about silence, it's about moving. Despite the noise, you keep waiting for the breakthrough. That one day where it all clicks, where the energy comes back, where everything changes instantly. But life doesn't move like that. Change isn't a leap, it's a crawl. You won't wake up one morning and suddenly be disciplined, strong, sharp, unstoppable. You'll become that, step by small step, when no one's watching, when nothing feels exciting. The Stoics knew this. They didn't chase dramatic shifts, they trusted daily practice. They understood. A sharp blade isn't made by one strike, but by thousands of quiet ones. So wake up, stretch, read one page, write one line, take one deep breath before reacting. It looks small, it feels slow, but over time, it builds something unbreakable. The problem? You want to feel progress, but real growth is invisible while it's happening. It doesn't give you applause, it doesn't give you dopamine, it just builds quietly. Until one day, you look back and don't recognize who you used to be. The world wants fast, you choose consistent. The world wants noise, you choose patterns. Because what matters is not how far you go in a day, but what direction you return to every single day. So start small and stay small, long enough to grow. Let the others chase sprints. You build distance, in silence, in slowness, in steady motion. Because that's how walls fall. That's how storms pass. That's how people change. Not in one day, but by refusing to stop. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. You want clarity, discipline, a sharper mind, a stronger will? then leave the warm, leave the soft, leave the I'm okay where I am. Because growth only happens where you are slightly uncomfortable. The Stoics lived this. They chose cold, they chose hunger, they chose discomfort, not because they liked pain, but because they feared softness more than struggle. Because softness feels safe, but it erodes you, quietly, day by day. You start skipping small things, then bigger things. Then your edge is gone. Comfort makes you forget what you're made of. Discomfort reminds you of fire, of hunger, of movement. So do things that don't pamper your ego. Wake up before you want to. Say no when it's hard. Sit with silence. Finish what's boring. Not because it feels good, but because it fortifies you. Growth isn't dramatic. It's choosing the path that requires a little more from you and doing it. Without complaint, without a post, without a prize. Be careful with ease. Too much of it dulls you. Seek challenge. Lean into resistance. Let your legs shake. That's not failure, that's strength in motion. The Stoics didn't wait for difficulty. They walked into it. Not recklessly, but deliberately. Because they knew a hard thing now makes softer storms later. So don't wish for it to be easier. Just choose hard, more often, on purpose. Because discomfort is where discipline is carved. You think it'll go away? The doubt, the noise, the fear that whispers, you're not ready, but it won't. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when you finally feel like it. The voice stays. The only thing that changes is how loud you let it become. It doesn't disappear, but it does get drowned. By action, by movement, by choosing not to wait for it to be quiet. The Stoics knew this. They didn't believe in waiting for confidence. They believed in courage, the kind that moves, even while your hands shake. Confidence is the reward, not the requirement. The voice doesn't need to shut up, you just need to stop listening. Do the thing while afraid. Write while uninspired. Show up while doubtful. Speak while your voice cracks. That's discipline. That's power. That's what rewires the brain. You want to win this war? Stop trying to feel ready. Start building proof. Because every time you act while the voice screams don't, you train your soul to lead. You won't silence fear by thinking. You silence it by moving. The body doesn't lie. It just remembers. Every rep, every time you move forward without permission. That's how the voice fades, not because it's gone, but because it finally realizes you're not listening anymore. So keep moving, keep showing up, keep acting, not when you're sure, but when you're not. That's how you win. That's how you change. That's how you drown the voice in evidence. No one's coming, no rescue, no miracle, no moment where it all finally feels easy. And that's not sad, that's freedom. Because now, you know it's on you. To get up, to begin, to show up again. Even when your soul whispers, stay down. The Stoics never waited to be saved. They saved themselves, every morning, every breath, by remembering one truth: the day is yours. Not your boss's, not your past's, not your moods, yours. You can waste it, repeat it, numb it, scroll through it, or you can build it. One decision at a time, one quiet move forward, 1 hour without distraction. You don't need to be a hero, just don't run. Face it, face you. You want motivation? Look around. No audience, no cheer, just the work in your hands. That's all it's ever been. So get up, again and again, with cracked hands, with a tired heart, with no applause. Because discipline isn't pretty, but it's what builds everything that lasts. And when the voice says it's not enough, you say maybe not, but I'm still here. Still rising, still working, still moving. When most people stopped because no one's coming. But you came anyway.